You are a young man. You're only in your 30s or 40s. You're a busy professional, yet you're not feeling good. You have a big problem. Do you know what that problem is? It is brain fog. You feel it each and every day. Your job is incredibly busy, incredibly demanding. You have a busy home life as well, a lot of responsibilities, yet you don't feel that sense of mental clarity and energy that you should be feeling. And I'm going to explain to you in this video the number one reason why you have brain fog. This is a channel for rebuilding your energy, your mental clarity. If you enjoy these videos, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Let's really talk about this because it's such a big problem. And I'm going to write down a term here which underlies why almost everybody who's in their 30s or 40s who has brain fog these days, assuming there's no underlying medical condition, which usually there isn't, why you feel this way. Let's write it down. Here you have it then. Insulin resistance. I want you to remember this because there's a high chance that you have insulin resistance, which is leading to brain fog. If you are one of those very busy professional men who has a million and one things going on and you've let go of your lifestyle, and you know this because you've been chasing success, but your lifestyle has really taken a hit. And I really want to talk about what insulin resistance is, what it means for you, and how you can go about naturally reversing this in only a matter of weeks. So first and foremost, what is insulin resistance? Well, you've probably heard of the hormone insulin. Insulin is secreted by your pancreas. That's an organ in your abdomen. And when you eat certain foods, the pancreas is stimulated to produce insulin. What sort of foods primarily produce an insulin response? Well, let's write this down here because we have three types of food in particular. Here we go. Carbohydrates, sugars, and ultra-processed foods. Carbohydrates are converted into sugars. So we're talking about foods like bread, rice, pasta. You all know what sugars are. And processed foods, unfortunately, are the majority of what's available in the grocery store these days. Utter trash. You look at ingredient labels and you don't recognize what's even on the ingredient labels. Chemical concoctions. So when you eat these types of food, the pancreas is stimulated much more so than when you eat whole foods like whole protein, whole vegetables, fiber. These types of foods will stimulate insulin. And the problem is that nowadays, most people out there are eating way too many carbohydrates, sugars. Remember, sugars are hidden in so many different foods. So during the day, you have these constant insulin spikes. So eventually, there's so much insulin floating around in you that your cells become resistant to insulin. And this is a big problem because it starts a vicious circle of this happening. So you have more and more insulin circulating. And what's wrong with insulin? It's a pro-inflammatory fat storage hormone. So as well as gaining weight, gaining body fat quite quickly, you will also be walking around in an inflamed state. This will affect all of your body organ systems, including your brain. And there is some fascinating research out there. It's not talked about as much as it should be, but if you have insulin resistance, you will have poor mental health. You will not be able to focus. You won't feel good. You'll be more stressed. You'll be more prone to depression. And it makes sense because elevated insulin is pro-inflammatory. So all of that insulin will cause a state of inflammation. And it's very likely that if you suffer with brain fog, especially if you know that you've gained weight, you're not doing other good lifestyle habits regularly like exercising, that you have insulin resistance. You've got too much insulin circulating and it's causing inflammation, including your brain. And the fascinating thing is that for anybody out there, especially you as a young guy, you can start to reverse this in a matter of only a few weeks. All you have to do is focus on a lifestyle which keeps your insulin levels low. So we already mentioned eating whole foods. I would certainly recommend instituting a time-restricted eating regimen. So ideally, only eat between, say, noon to 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. So most of the day, your insulin levels are low. But if you get into the mindset of thinking at all times, what are my insulin levels doing? that is the best path to better well-being all around, physical health and mental health. We've talked about food then, and we'll certainly talk about food more in future videos, what you should be eating to keep your insulin levels naturally low. But there are other core well-being pillars as well, which will help to improve insulin sensitivity. So I want you to always remember, with insulin resistance, as you're reversing it, yes, food diet is 80% of the journey, but you also have these other core well-being pillars here. So exercise, movement, including strength training, super important on your journey to becoming more insulin sensitive. And also managing stress in your life. I know this is easier said than done, but going on that journey, making sure you sleep enough and working on your mindset as well. A positive outlook, being positive about what you're doing for work. I know that might seem difficult. If you're not positive about what you're doing for work, then you owe it to yourself to find something better, because life is short. But you cannot be walking around in this inflamed insulin resistant state. It's unacceptable for a man of your age. You've got so much life ahead of you. You're so talented. You're in a career which is very demanding. You had to work hard to get here, but you can't let your health slip. You want to be your best possible self. You want to be there, present for your family. You want to be showing up at work with energy, enthusiasm, and mental clarity. And brain fog simply won't do. So if you have brain fog, assuming again you don't have any underlying medical condition, which most of the time is not present in a younger person, then you really need to think about whether you're insulin resistant and go on the journey of natural insulin resistance reversal. Thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. You know, if this video applies to you, check in the links down below for my 30-day energy reset for busy professionals. And also make sure that you've signed up for my free newsletter for more tips and advice. If you enjoyed this video, you will also enjoy this video on other factors which could be leading to you self-sabotaging your energy levels. Go for it. We'll speak in the next video.